Hello my friends, and welcome to Talk to Me Tuesday for Tuesday, June 4th, 2019. This is Jennifer. I am standing way far away from you guys today because I wanted to share with you my quilting space. For the last couple of weeks, while I was waiting for my fabulous Qnique to come back from its warranty repair, my husband and I cleaned out the garage. I painted this wall. This was an unfinished wall that just had sheetrock and tape and bedding on it. There was nothing going on. It had like my kids had drawn on it when they were little and things like that. So I bought a can of clearance sale paint from Lowe's. So it's probably a grayish kind of color. This guy used to be on the floor. I put it up here, which is really nice because this is the cable for my mid-arm. So when I move my mid-arm, it goes back and forth, but it does not touch the ground, which was a problem I was having before. It kept catching on things on the floor. I also went ahead and decorated my wall because, you know, why not? I added my favorite things over here. I've got Mustachio over my head. These are both sew hooked patterns that you can buy in my Etsy shop. This is my magical lens. It was my very first Harry Potter quilt. It's the quilt that started all of my fandom quilt designing. It existed before Fandom and Stitches. It started to exist before Sew Hooked did. This is actually the quilt that made me buy a domain name because I started sharing patterns and it started crashing my free website that I had prior to owning Sew Hooked. This is Sir Gareth's Dragon. This is also a Sew Hooked pattern. I'm not sure if it's in my Etsy shop. I'll check. If it is not, I will add it. Sir Gareth's Dragon is based on a drawing that my son did when he was maybe 8 or 9 years old. He's 21 now, so this guy's been around for a while. You can't see it because it's just out of frame, but I also have a couple of Harry Potter posters down on the end that my daughter gave me. Another really awesome thing that I did, which I'm not going to aim the camera out because it's ridiculous, it just whites out the screen. On the recommendation of another quilter on Instagram, I bought garden lights that you can put a regular 60-watt bulb in. It was like a $40 strand where you can screw in 12 lights. That's hanging above me up here. I will insert a picture so you can see it. I just don't want to point the camera at it because that's really, really bright. And I'm also going to show you what this space looks like without those lights on. So before I had those lights, it was really dark in here. The mid-arm has got a little bit of light going on there. I had lamps on either end. I had lamp connected to the mid-arm. It was a ridiculous mess. So I bought this strand of garden lights. The only plug on this wall, there's no plug on this actual wall. The reason this is here and the reason you see this coming down from here is the plug is in the ceiling. I have hooks holding the cable up and away so it won't droop, and then that goes down to this, and then I have these garden lights up here. But because they plug in way up there at the ceiling and I really shouldn't be climbing, my husband set this up for me. Can't see it, it is out of frame, I think. Yeah, it's just above Mustachio. He gave me a smart plug and he helped me set up this app. I go to my app, it's got a power button, and when you hit the power button, it turns the lights off, so I can completely control the lights. So without these lights on, this is how dark my garage was before. So that was me trying to quilt in here with very little light and lamps everywhere, and now that problem is solved. I'm gonna go ahead and come around here because I do actually have a little show and tell and I want to be a little bit closer to the camera for you guys. I have my Talk to Me Tuesday t-shirt that I showed you guys on the TTMT website. If you hear digging around, one of my cats just crawled in a cardboard box. This is the Talk to Me Tuesday shirt that I posted on TTMT last week. I had some money in my Zazzle account. I have a Sew Hooked Zazzle account that I've had for like 15 years or something. And I had some money sitting there and they have a bunch of new interfaces and I just wanted to play with their graphic interface. And I ended up putting this shirt together using their fonts and their clip art. And I loved it so much, I just used some of my credits to buy it and then I shared it with you guys. So I know a few of you bought it. I think that's awesome. We'll all have our matching Talk to Me Tuesday shirts, so that'll be super cool. Today we will have a mid-video cat cameo. This is Dipper. Dipper, say hi. Hi. You want to say hi? Anyway, I also had a free pattern that I shared on Friday. This came from an idea from Jules, who wanted an English paper piece sort of pattern. She wanted like a much more complicated one, which I did do for her, but then I started playing with it and I was like, you know, I want to make something simpler. So I made this pattern called Gran's Faux Flowers. It is inspired by the Grandmother's Flower Garden hexie patterns where you have the little hexies that you hand piece together. But this baby is all paper pieced. It has 4 units. It's really easy. I made both of these in less than an hour, and that includes the time it took me to stop and take some photos. I want to mention that because when I posted this for Free Pattern Friday, I also included photos of how I do my long wonky angles. I have actually updated the way that I do that since I did my video in 2012. It's so easy. It's perfect every time. If you guys have trouble with the long wonky angles, check out my tutorial from Friday, and I will put a link in the description for that. It's super easy, super easy. I did get my machine back on Friday. This is my beautiful Qnique. Saturday morning, my husband helped me lift it. It's like 60 pounds. He helped me lift it back on the table. I got it all set up, and I just pulled out a panel that I already had it back the right size for. I had this little Disney princess panel, which I just quilted up with a meander, and every once in a while I did like a little spiral. So it's mostly meander with a little bit of other stuff going on, and I had this other Disney fabric for the back. Doesn't have a binding yet, but I did have just enough of this to cut binding for it. So this will be added to my to bind pile so that I can get some binding done before the June Linus meeting. Speaking of Linus, I also got 2 quilt tops in the mail from Christy, and these are reverses of each other. One of them has wide dark fabric and narrow light fabric, and the other one has wide light fabric and narrow dark fabric. So these are really pretty. These are perfect size for camp quilts. So I will do my level best to get them quilted for the June meeting because we are collecting camp quilts right now. So huge thanks to Christy for that. She actually messaged me on Instagram to see if I would take these, and of course I will take them for Linus. In other mail news, Diane sent me Anita Good Designs Premium Collection Quilting Essentials. Guys, this is a set of quilt designs to do on your embroidery machine. I don't know if I will keep this or if I will give it away as a prize or a gift. I might even save it and put it in the Linus silent auction in October. So I'm going to put this aside for now until I decide what to do with it. This is a really nice gift. She actually had 2 of them, so she sent me one that's still wrapped up, and I've already thanked Diane for this, but again, Diane, thank you for this. This was a really awesome thing to send. Cat cameo number 2 for today. This is Iliad. They're super curious what I'm doing in the garage talking because it is a very unusual circumstance. I did want to tell you guys that I did work on my Star Trek row. I'm still on the TNG row. I did not get it finished. I didn't even get the second section finished. I have a bunch of pieces already pieced. It's not in any configuration in which I can share it with you. It's just a bunch of paper pieces that haven't been, like units that haven't been pieced together. I had sort of an impromptu visit from my brother this weekend, and I had some other visitors, and I didn't sew all weekend. I will hopefully have a little time to work on that this week. I'm supposed to be working on my next row this week, but that's okay. It's not like I'm not stressing about this at all. I get it done when I get it done. Guys, my cats are so distracting right now. They're just like running around trying to figure out what I'm doing. And last but definitely not least, I do have the numbers in for the medical themed pattern fundraiser I was having for Jackson. I sold 15 sets of the medical themed patterns and 1 individual pattern, which kind of cracked me up because almost everyone bought the set. So I have 15 sets sold, 1 individual pattern sold. It was actually the stethoscope. That was in April and May. That grand total was $107.20. I rounded it up to $108, and I made that donation this morning through the Action Jackson Medical Fund. But the best part is, while I have been talking about this over the last 2 months, there have been $175 in donations that were just straight up donations. Not only did my medical patterns raise $108 for the medical fund, but you guys, just through your generosity, raised an extra $175. I know that doesn't sound like a huge amount, but I also know that every little bit helps, and part of it was just spreading awareness so that you guys knew what was going on and that anybody who was able to could also help out Jackson. So that is going to be it for me from the brand new Soho quilting studio. This is my garage. It's very exciting. That side is storage and not nearly as pretty as this side. This was what we planned to do for my birthday, was to redo this area, but then I sprained my ankle and it got put off, and I am big into trying to make the best of every situation. So when I had to send my machine back to get it serviced, this was the best use of my time. The machine was not on the table. What better time to move it and get it all this cleaned up and painted. So I'm delighted by this. I am happy to be out here quilting again, and I cannot wait to get to that giant pile of quilt tops and panels that I have been accumulating the last couple of months. Have a wonderful week. Have a crafty week. Here's another cat cameo. That's Ramsey's behind me on the quilt frame. I hope you have a lovely week. I probably already said that. I'm losing track because cats. And I will see you guys next week. Bye.